Is there like a basketball player here before me? Awesome. We're good? We're getting there? Okay. Well, this piece I wrote, it actually kind of started being written last year, right after our Black History Month assembly. I was walking in the hall, and a student said, "Why do we even have to have this assembly?" And I think the frustration, well, I hope the frustration was benign that we're taking time out of school to do something like this. But I really wanted to answer, like, why would we do this? Why would we assemble to celebrate one particular subset of history, like one narrative? And then over the summer, when everything happened with Michael Brown and Ferguson, then Tamir Rice, and then Eric Garner, I just watched lots of people continue to assemble with wanting to talk about Black history and why Black folks are important. And so what started last year really took shape over the summer, and as soon as we have some slides, I'm going to perform it for you. It's called Assemble, and my hope is that it provides a little bit of context on why we would have this assembly, why it's important. Okay? Okay, so I know I teach English, but let me give you a quick history lesson. It was late summer. The teenage boy, full of life and vigor, a rakish twinkle in his eye, strolled with his friends through the sweltering streets of Money, Mississippi. Counting their coins, the boys stopped at a convenience store for some soda and a snack. While perusing the shelves, the self-confident to the point of cocky young man let his gaze linger a wink too long for the genteel taste of the white woman behind the counter. You see, reckless confidence breeds brash decisions. For his decision, this young man was startled from sleep with a flashlight in his eyes and a pistol in his mouth. Two white men wrestled Emmett from his home and slammed the frightened teen in the bed of their truck beneath a thin layer of tarp. Till was taken to a remote shed and pistol whipped beyond consciousness. Throughout the night, Emmett Till was paraded around town, a warning to any Negro who would dare ignore the status quo. And in the morning, just as the hope of light broke on horizon's edge, 14-year-old Emmett Till was shot in the head and dumped in the Tallahatchie River. 8 days later, Till's waterlogged body was picked from the roots of a bankside cottonwood. His killers, who freely boasted of their crime, were acquitted of any wrongdoing by a jury of their peers. To the sensibilities of the Jim Crow South, Emmett Till's black life did not matter. Before his bloated and battered body could be buried, Till's mother, wanting the nation to feel the full human cost of injustice, held an open casket funeral. Thousands of black allies assembled. And pictures of the gruesome scene were seen around the world, the spark that ignited a fire. Finally, faced with the shattered image of innocent youth, the black masses stood strong, and each boldly declared, "Enough! I am a person the same as you. I am not a nigger." They assembled to mourn, and their mourning turned to protest against injustice. But what about us, here? Now, why do we assemble? We assemble to remember. Because 60 years after a young black man's senseless death ignited a mass movement, we watch the same story playing out in front of us. To remember that in the space of those 60 years, we've lost Eleanor Bumpers, Abner Louima, Tarika Wilson, Amadou Diallo, Rekia Boyd, Oscar Grant, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, Eric Garner, and the list goes on, and the story plays out over and over and over again. Hundreds of thousands of black lives violently cut short, millions more funneled out of schools and into prisons, citizens falling victim to systems said to open doors that instead slam cells closed in their faces. We assemble to celebrate the victories, large and small, that we've experienced despite these odds stacked against our people. Emancipation, the Red Tail Central High School, Guy Bluford, the first black man in space, Shirley Chisholm, the first black woman elected to the Senate, Barack Obama, senator turned president. We assemble to recognize that while we have taken our seat at the lunch counter, we have a long way to go until we reach the mountaintop. We assemble to honor those who have gone before us, heroes of the struggle for justice and equality, ordinary people tending their plot, nurturing seeds of hope. Parents raising their children towards empathy, teachers cultivating the voices of students to powerful forces to shape the future, police, politicians, protesters, all working for a better tomorrow. We assemble to inspire you, the next generation of leaders, to continue fighting for the rights of all people. Like mourners after Emmett Till's murder and protesters after Eric Garner's, we assemble. Because when the suffocating arms of injustice tighten around the neck of our nation, we need to find reason to hope. We need to create space for each of us together to breathe.